Okay, good morning, guys. Yeah, in the last post that I made, I put up a question, a $10 question, where I said, tell me what causes divergence. Divergence between the price and the oscillator. Alright? Oscillator, that is indicators, the ones that are at the base, those are oscillators. Okay, the indicators are the actual ones that you place on the price. Alright, so those ones that are oscillating, sometimes we find divergence. Now, this is what I'm talking about. Okay, I said, okay, if the price is going up, 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 as you would have it, in the case of divergence, right? Market's going up, okay, and then you have an oscillator, let's say an MACD, that's MACD, or you have an oscillator like stochastics or RSI, right? Okay, and then the histograms or whatever you have, whatever oscillator you're using, goes up, comes down, right? It goes up higher than it went before, right? Okay, now this is what we expect. It's what we expect. Okay, what I'm talking about here is this. If the market is going up like this, all right, we expect that the indicator should be rising. Okay, we want to see the indicator rise, right? Want to see the indicator rise. Okay, so now tell me guys, tell me, the market makes another high, pull back, makes a high, okay, right? But then look at your indicator. Okay, so the oscillator refuses to make a high, stops here, then it comes down. Okay, so what you observe from this point is what we refer to as divergence. Okay, so this is a divergence. All right, now the question was, why does divergence take place between the oscillator and the price? Why? Okay, all right, now let me tell you something. What you have to understand about the oscillator here is that it lags, that's one, and then secondly, we already know it lags. Okay, so but there's something about the indicators. They do not take account, or they do not put into consideration just one price, right? What they normally do is they will take account a certain number of prices, like 5 bars or 14 bars. If you have a 14 period RSI, it means that it's taking into account 14 prices. Okay, 14 candles, 14 bars, right? Okay, if you look at the MACD is having a period of 12, right? It has a period of 12. What this means is that it takes into account the past 12 bars. Now, having known this, I'll tell you what causes divergence now. Okay, now this is what happens, and this is what leads to divergence, guys. This is what leads to divergence. When you now look at the market, now let's say this is a daily chart. Okay, let's say this is a daily chart. All right, daily time frame. Okay, and then I look at the daily and I'm observing that there is a divergence. Okay, the indicator has stopped making highs and then there is a divergence. Okay, now what I'm going to do is very simple. Go down to, let's say, H1. Okay, go down to H1. Now when you go down to H1, I'm sure you're going to now see this daily time frame broken down and expanded, so that what you now find will be something like this. So what you find will be something like this, candle moving up, candles moving down, candles moving up, a lot of candles moving down, a lot of candles moving up, A lot of candles moving down, right? A lot of candles moving down. Now I have 1, 2, 3. Okay, now from this area where the divergence occurred, now let me tell you what happens there. When you go back to a lower time frame, what you're going to see is this. You're going to see the market choppy, very tiny, plenty candles, a lot of candles, and then you will now suddenly you are going to find a sharp spike. This spike might consist of just 1 or 2 candles. The indicators are going to be confused, right? They're going to be confused. Now this is what I'm talking about. The market made a high here, went up, right? Went up. Okay, we had about let's say we had about 15 candles here. We had 10 here. We had, let's say, 22 here. We had 4, and then here now we have a lot of candles which led to this low, and then all of a sudden, guys, there's a spike. Remember what I told you about the MACD? It takes into account about 12 candles. Now, if we have a lot of candles here, and all of a sudden we have one big spike, this is called a climax. The oscillator doesn't know that what we have here is a spike. It is still taking into account 12 bars, or let's say about 11 bars or 10 bars. And now we have just 2 bars going to the upside. We have just 2 bars going to the upside, and then we have 10 bars to the downside. And then what does the indicator interpret? The indicator still thinks, the indicator is surprised that the market all of a sudden have gotten to this high. Just 2 bars is not enough. It's not enough. We need as much as 12 bars forming this high for the indicator to make this high. That would have prevented the divergence. Okay, so what causes the divergence is when you come down to a lower time frame and observe the candles, you're going to see that there is a sudden spike, and then this thing, guys, is called a climax. It's called dumb money. The peak is a magnetic effect, and then the moment the market does a climax, gets to a certain level where the magnetic effect is, the magnetic field is lost, and then the market is bound to reverse. That is why divergence is, I don't use indicators, but if you're going to use indicators at all, you can use indicators to spot divergence. Okay, so but I'll tell you what. Now, when in my course, you can learn to even spot a divergence without actually putting in an indicator. This is a climax. It's a climax. And then when there is a climax, you know that it's an early sign. The reversal might not happen immediately, but it is an indicator that a reversal is about to happen. This thing, once you see a divergence, guys, it is telling you that, it's like you're running on the freeway. You're running about 100 kilometers per hour on the freeway. Okay? I don't expect you to stop. Right? I don't expect you to stop. So you keep running 100, 80, 100, you're moving. Now, divergence is the brake light. Divergence is an early indicator. The market is still going up, but there is a divergence. It shows you that, it's showing you guys, listen very well, it's showing you guys that the guy who is running on the freeway very fast, there's nothing in front of him. No bump, no traffic, nothing. He starts to slow down. That's what it is. He's telling you that he's about to reverse. If he starts to release the throttle and hold on to the brake gradually, he's telling you that I want to reverse. That's what divergence does. I want to reverse. It's an early indicator that this person is about to turn. Okay, so what you're taking home is this: oscillators take into account about 12 prices, and then when they take into account about 12 prices, 12 prices, 12 bars, 12 candles, right? If there is a sudden spike, right? If there's a sudden spike, it cannot account for that spike because that spike happened in just 1 or 2 bars. So it cannot account for that spike. So even though the price has now made a new high from the spike, right? If you look at the oscillator that you have, you observe that it's not able to account for just 1 or 2 candles, right? It's going to take out about 12. So except that high continues, broken candles, and then it continues to go, then the next one will eventually come up. Okay, guys, so that's the simple answer to this question. In the trading course, I'm going to teach you how to trade divergence. I mean, you don't just see that there is a divergence and then you place a trade. Okay, that the divergence happened here does not mean that the reversal will take place immediately. So during my trading course, on the day when I teach you divergence, I'm going to teach you how to trade it, right, and how to make money from it. Okay, so thank you so much. All those of you who participated, if you got it right, you get $10. Okay, so I'm going to make sure $10 is sent across to you. All right, so thank you so much for your participation, guys, and then cheers.